Hey guys, welcome back to
We're back.
Influencer Secrets. I know you're like, what the heck is that
What
name?
is that? I guess, is that a welcome back or is that like a welcome to?
Welcome to and welcome back. For those of you guys who are new, which I doubt it, but for those of you guys who are new, this is my husband, Doug.
Hey, everybody.
And we had a podcast before called, I say it wrong every time, Influence to Income.
You got it.
And we decided to actually rebrand-ish, change the name, start it back up. So yeah, in this, I guess, intro to the new year type of podcast, we're going to talk about what we've been doing when I was, and Doug as well, radio silent on social media, why we're sort of starting this back up and why we changed the name.
Yeah. So basically, a lot happened in 2021 and it was basically a lot of things that were just totally different for us. Things that we just went totally outside of our comfort zone. We were like doing one-to-ones and getting very intimate with our students and
sales calls,
high
ticket.
Business stuff, like crazy things that we were doing, which is way different than being like an influencer. But we learned a lot too. And so now moving into 2022, we want to do so many things differently. We want to turn, I think we used this phrase before, but we want to kind of turn like the common conceptions, or not conceptions, misconceptions, or like the common thoughts about influencers and that kind of stuff on its head. And we want to show you guys like what it's about. So like as with Haley's brand usually, and with my new brand coming out at Doug Does Digital, we're going to get that plug in there. We're going to basically be raw. We're going to try to talk about everything, the motherhood stuff, the parenting, being a dad, the business, running business from home.
Yeah.
Should we be at home or at the office? What should we be doing? Like tons of stuff.
Yeah. And so like with our last podcast, it was Influence to Income. And basically we really hit it hard about like online courses, talking about money. And I like all that stuff. I obviously do. I talk about it on my second Instagram and my first sometimes. And I like talking about money. I think it's so important and taboo and no one talks about how much they make. I understand why. Like, I'm not saying people should, obviously, but no one talks about their income streams.
It depends. Like don't.
Or what's possible. I can't speak today, but what's possible out there, like with social media, even if you're not an influencer, and you're looking to just like leverage social media. I always say that, but it's like, if you are just a person and you're not finding a way to make money through it, it's such a missed opportunity. You don't have to be like, I always say Casey Neistat or someone crazy, but yeah. So on this new like type of podcast that we're doing, we want to actually bring on influencers and we want to interview them and we want to talk about not just how much they make, not that we're going to ask that, but like the income streams really, but how they literally do it, like logistically with working maybe at nights for the first couple years or working during your baby snaps or doing it with your husband or with your kids. How do you actually scale your income? When it sometimes is dependent on your time. So that's kind of like where we wanted to take this podcast. And we also kind of like started back up for another reason. Really with this podcast, like literally I only have so much time. Like for those of you guys that watch me, you'll know that I'm trying to homeschool my eldest child. She is 5 and I really got to buckle down to figure out what I'm doing there, because you can't just
you can't
let
make
her
that up.
you have to figure out like what you're doing there. I've never been homeschooled, so I have to teach myself that. We have 3 other kids.
No,
and
2 other kids.
Oh my gosh, no.
Could you imagine 3 other kids versus like
surprise? No. Okay, we have 3 kids total, 2 other kids, and they're tiny. Okay, we have whatever, it doesn't matter, but 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and a newly 1-year-old. He was one like a couple days ago. They're full time with us. Okay, when I say full time, like no help, always with us, 24/7, like 24/7. So with that, I can only really spread myself out so thin. Like being a content creator, I was thinking like, oh, should I post on Reels? Like I know that I could be good at anything, but it's like, what do I want to do? What is worth my time and also stress level? Because I have to like manage that with like being a full-time mom. So I could post a reel a day, which is like the new hot thing. Like if you post a reel a day, you'll go viral, which you will. And I was doing that for a second. Heck to the no. Like first off, okay.
People on the podcast don't see me, but I'm doing the pointing, dancing thing.
Yes, Doug. But yeah, like a reel a day, which Doug's going to start doing. He's already on TikTok and Reels and stuff.
I'm getting there.
But also there's YouTube videos, which I know I could grow that. But honestly, like I'm at a point in my life, like in my career, that I just want to do things that are fun. And like talking to Doug is so fun, like it is. So much fun. I don't like always, I'm kind of tired of talking to the camera by myself in a solo room while like Doug takes the kids. Like it's just, so that's why we also decided to continue on with it. And I think that it's just more interesting content. Like, yes, I could put out more reels or post on any other platform. But this is going to answer like I said, the hard hitting questions that people want to know.
Yeah. And what it's really going to do too is it's going to let you guys see like a different perspective, which is my perspective, which is a little bit different, you know, and a lot of people who are looking to try to get into this business or live this type of lifestyle, a lot of times the husbands or the spouse is like just left out.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to be really important to see how that dynamic works out and, you know, where that goes in the future. But before we get too far, you know, astray here, let's jump into like what we talked about in 2021.
So 2021 was a wild year for us. I mean, for those of you guys who followed anything that I've done, you might have probably seen that in, well, the years following, like I don't even know, 2 years following. Prior, just kidding. We made most of our income, I wouldn't say like 100% passive, but we just sold like an online course. We had like a coaching element to it, but we had a team of people helping us with that. So really it was just mostly passive. And then in 2021, we decided to dip our toes heavily in doing...
It's like submerge ourselves.
Yeah, submerge ourselves because of advice that we've received. And anyways, it's a learning process and we're so grateful for it. But we did mostly one-to-ones. And so a lot of people ask like, or they just tell me, Haley, I want to do an online course, but I don't want to do one-to-ones. I just want to make passive income. You know, I want to like barely work and make all this money. And it's just funny to me, but like, for different reasons. But that's like not been our journey. We didn't go from like one-to-ones like most people say, get out of one-to-ones. We went from passive income to one-to-ones.
Yeah. And it was entirely different. Like we needed to figure out what was the best way to make money. What was the best way to live our life? What was the best way to scale our business? And so what that involved was stepping entirely out of our comfort zone, getting mentors that were the exact opposite of us and that were leading entirely different lives that were teaching things that we've never done before. And so part of that was like doing the one-to-ones. And first, like we focused on our program a lot, right? And we were like, okay, let's build out our program.
And like also a big reason why we did that is because number one, you can get testimonials faster than anything if you hand hold. What am I saying? You know what I mean? Like if you hold someone's hand the entire process, if you tell them exactly what to do and there's no like them straying away from your method or them like thinking this is something better, you tell them this is what you do and you'll get results.
Or
and they're like, okay.
Quit.
Yeah. And you help them through the mental hurdles because there's that. Then you'll get a testimonial because they're going to get results. And so when you just open the floodgates to a course, which that's amazing too, and you can still get testimonials, but oftentimes you do get less results for your business because those people aren't as invested literally and just like figuratively, you know? So number one, we wanted to get testimonials, like just to be frank, but really the second reason is we have found that also when you do turn a course like more passive, you want to, like I said, get people results. And the best way is to work with people one-to-one so you can really fill in the holes or the gaps of your program so that when we worked with like almost 100 one-to-one clients, when someone came to us and was like, hey, like this is confusing. Okay, we'd film like a quick video, put it back in the course. And then the next day, like this happened multiple times a week for like months, almost a year. Hey, Haley, like I don't really understand. Or hey, Doug, like this tech training confuses me. He redoes it, puts it back in the course. So we just wanted like an ironclad program to where like there's just, you know, there's no confusion in it and people can get results without us or with us, you know?
Yeah. And so this is months of reiteration.
I've created my part or refilmed my part like probably 4 or 5 times and Doug's definitely done his part more maybe.
Yeah. So it's
of the program.
It's been pretty interesting.
So that's why like, you know, a lot of people have this mentality, well, I don't want to do one-to-ones, like it's going to eat up my time, but it's like there is sacrifice involved. You know, you don't have to do it this way. You don't have to do one-to-ones. You can just launch a course that's low ticket. But like for us, we know that the fastest path towards wealth or whatever is getting people massive results and success.
Yes,
and the way to do that is by filling in those holes. So that's just like ethically, that's what we feel like is best. We did not have to do one-to-ones. Okay. We could have just done passive income all the way, live the laptop lifestyle, whatever. But we just knew that it's just, you know, it's better for the future, like the trajectory of our business.
Yeah. It was definitely like a idea planning, building phase kind of thing. You know, it was like a maturity phase kind of that we went through. It was like the puberty of our program almost, I would say. It was pretty interesting. I think one of the scariest, I guess not scariest things, but one of the craziest things we did was go from like passively selling from our behind
sales
our phones on our sales page to one-to-one calls.
Yeah, and this is another thing.
Sales calls.
I know there might be someone out there thinking, I don't know, well, you just did that because you make more money. Absolutely. Okay. When you do a lot more money. Okay. So when you go from like just selling, like, I don't know what it was, but let's say you sell something for $297 And that's just a passive income type of generating course, no coaching, whatever. Yep. And then you turn that same exact product, but you add coaching on, you can like 10x the price of the product because it's like, you know, you're trading your time for money, which you don't want to do forever, or eventually you can hire that out, but that's a different story. Yes. You can charge way more. So like for our program, we charged high ticket. And so when you charge so much money, because you are talking to that person every day for in our case, 6 months, it requires a sales call.
Yep.
And so Doug heavily drenched his body. And I was gonna say dip his toes, but he heavily went like head first. Drown yourself in learning how to do sales calls. And at first, you didn't want to do it, did you?
Listen, I was the guy at my last job that
He's like the nerdy tech guy.
My boss would come up to me, or like the person in charge of our department, like the C-level person would come up to me and be like, Doug, you're killing it. You're amazing. Like you have all the high class clients. But you're the only damn manager without an upsell in this whole
I didn't know that
business.
Oh yeah,
I've never sold anyone
because he was doing SEO for clients.
So I was doing SEO for a long time, and I was just
I didn't know that they told you that.
Wizard.
No wonder you were just like having these issues,
I was
man.
an SEO wizard, but I hated selling. Absolutely hated selling.
Because you always thought, and I'm not kidding. Like last year, you said like, which is funny because we make our money through sales, but you did say things like. Selling, you wouldn't say like selling is sleazy, but you would like had stories like beliefs of your own self.
Yeah.
That
like they would get mad at me. They would want me to upsell for like no reason. And it's like, I don't want to have to upsell if I don't want to have to upsell.
I remember. Yeah.
And so I had a very big mental block that I had to get over with this as well. And it was hard.
I mean, this is, I don't know, this is a podcast. This is like an entire subject, Doug overcoming this whole thing, which is like, I was going to say for another one, but whatever, we're going for it.
No, we could
So what made you want to overcome that? Because now Doug had to get on the phone, you guys, with
not only did I have to get on
hundreds of strangers.
1,000, like I'm almost
at
1,000.
No, not 1,000.
Almost at 1,000
okay.
calls. I'm almost at 1,000 discussions that I've had, whether it's like, DMs or, extensive messaging.
But it was like sales calls, like Zoom. So like face to face, which by the way,
I'm almost at 1,000 calls, like actual calls. Yes.
But by the way, like we're not, we're kind of like putting a pause on that for now. So in case you guys are ever wondering about that. So we're transitioning from high ticket to more passive for all the reasons I said, because it's just like a more enjoyable lifestyle. And it's honestly so hard to, I wouldn't say hard, but it's very time consuming to scale high ticket, which we totally debated because you just hire a sales guy, but then you got to manage that and then a coach and all this stuff.
There's more to that.
So whatever. But the moral of the story, all of this is like, Doug, I wouldn't say you sucked because honestly, I listened to like, I don't know, a couple dozen of your first sales calls, like through the door with the kids. Just kidding. And
the first couple, man, those were rough.
You didn't know what you were doing. I would be 10 times worse.
Dude, I had a script and it was just so awkward.
Yeah. But you guys now it's
Zoom,
like,
so you can look at them. Yeah. They can see you. Dude, there's no hiding.
Yeah, no hiding. Yeah. But now Doug just is so good on the sales calls. Like I know, I mean, I'm not trying to stroke your ego because I would seriously suck, but now he coaches our students on how to do them. And he is, I mean, you're not a master because a master probably has like trained sales teams, but you are very good. Like, okay, so just to put this out there, like Doug, to give you some clout, Doug sold literally by himself, like over $500,000 in sales for our program, just that program through high ticket himself. In 9 months. So, I mean, he went from like someone that was like, I will never do this.
Do sales
ever. You suck at Haley. I'll never do this. Yeah. And then now you're doing it and like, he's so good and he's teaching our clients how to do it. So I don't know. I feel like I have to say all that to give you clout, but also because that's what we've been doing for like the last year. So it's like, no, I haven't been posting on social because Doug's been doing these things.
Yeah, let's talk about the impact that changing our business structure has had on the family and like what we've done differently with our strategy.
I don't know where you're going with this. Which angle do I come at this?
Well, to start with sales calls, like most of our time, like let's say we had 20-hour weeks, like just say 20 hours because I'm bad at math. Okay, before it would be like 15 hours of time spent on, social, and then 5 hours of time Doug is kind of like fixing funnels and doing things.
For passive income.
Yeah, for passive income. Yeah. So let's just talk for a minute about how different it was to go from like posting on social and having like, I don't know, 20 hours a week to do whatever you want with posting and like planning and doing those things to sales calls kind of like
because that sounds insane. Like why in the world? And even like my own sister who's doing online courses too and like coaching, really, she does coaching right now. she's like, why would you ever do that? Like, you know, her dream is like passive, and most people, you know, my dream is passive income too. But why would you do that? You know, so.
And so really what it was we needed to, again, move into a realm that was unknown to us. And so we heard about all these people that were doing high ticket, and we needed to see, like, we were at a point in our business where we needed to make a decision, like, what was the family life going to be like for 2021?
But also the biggest reason, which I just remember right now, is like, most people, and you guys a lot of you watching just see most likely people's online courses. Oh, watch my masterclass. You know, you get in the email funnel, you buy your cheap course, and you think to yourself, well, I could never charge a lot. But what you don't realize is the big dogs, for lack of a better term there, the big players in the industry, really, in the online course industry, they make the majority of their money through their upsells, right?
Dude, and it's not just upsells.
Back end
it's
funnel.
Like, freaking, you can't see me on
so you're like, can I charge $100? I'm like, you don't understand, people. Which I'm not saying milk people for all they're worth. I'm not saying that.
But
it's like
$100 is like the
sky is the limit. Like, it's insanity, because whatever, in any niche. So we found these people that are the best at the online course industry. We got mentored by them, and it was an amazing experience. Like, we spent so much money on mentors, more than ever. Like, in 2021, I don't regret a thing. But we literally, just to get real here, we forgone, is that it? Forwent, I guess. I don't know. Like, buying our own house to literally spend this money learning information, because we needed to know.
We literally spent a down payment.
Yes. So we went all in. Like. Yeah. I was going to say, and I'm going to say balls to the walls, as Doug and I always say, but it's true. Like, we went all in, because you just need to know in order to make an effective decision for your future. If you're just blindly, like, living your life and spending all your money on lavish things, that's another podcast episode. Yeah. But, you know, so we went all in, and it's not the $197 courses that, you know, give you financial freedom. Like, they do to an extent, but it's what you do on the back end.
Yes, it's not going to be like the thing that changes
high
your life
ticket programs, really.
Know, like, high ticket programs can change your life literally immediately.
But so can low ticket.
Yeah, to an extent. Like, yeah,
depends on your goals.
On your goals and what you're doing. But like, some of our students, they're like, you know, some of them are like, oh, I just sold $500, and like, that's cool, but I need to make more. But then other ones are like, hey, I just sold my first student for $1,500. And like, my life is forever changed, because I know how to, now I can do this. Like,
or like, I just got my my income from my teaching job. Like, I just made more in like a day. And so that's another topic, low ticket versus high ticket. But it's a good to have a combination of both, you know? But so that's kind of like what we've been doing.
Yeah. So 2021 was a feeler year. And that's what we were trying to do, is we were trying to feel out, like, what is our life going to look like based on whatever we need to do. And like Haley said, you can't go into this blind. You can't just sit there and say, like, this is how it is and this is how I'm going to do it. You have to try different things. Yeah. Right. So now we did 2021. We did the high ticket. We did the sales. We did the coaching calls. We did all the like crazy amount of work on our program. Now what's 2022 going to look like, and how is that different? And it's like, oh, fuck. We're like, we're doing everything differently.
Just coming out with the curse. I was like, you better not curse on the podcast.
2022 is going to be like so different.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean,
it's already starting off so different.
It's into the unknown here. And I know Doug's going to think of an Elsa reference. Yeah. No, we haven't said that on the podcast. You're just thinking it. Oh. So basically, like we always like to do, you know, we're flipping things on its head in 2022. So we're moving to like a more passive model, because with some high ticket still, like with some coaching for people that qualify. But so we are turning our program that, in my opinion, is pretty ironclad. I mean, I'll always add things in no matter what, but it's like, I've never felt so proud of any kind of program we've ever created.
Yeah. Usually we'll just say this real quick. You have to build a program, and then you have to walk people through it and plug the holes and do things, right? Yeah. But recently we've had students jump into the coaching program, the one-to-one stuff, go through our course aspect, because it's course and one-to-one. No, us not hear anything from them.
Yeah, we don't hear.
And all of a sudden they come back and they're like, "Hey, I just sold my first 2 clients for $1,500 a piece." And
or launched a course, what? You know, whatever you want to do.
Or I just launched my thing, or I launched
life
my course.
change. So
and like, like
this is really, this podcast episode is not supposed to be a commercial. But whatever, like I'm not gonna apologize for it, because that's what we've been doing. Like, come on. So
we'll try to explain what we've been doing.
Anyways, to put that in there though, we are gonna launch it into a course that is more, I want to say affordable, but that's like not a good word. Doug's gonna be like, don't use that word. Marketing is not a good word, but it's like, it's not gonna be the one-to-one high ticket price, you know?
No, so it's a different person. This program is for a different person.
Yeah. So anyways, without going into it, which we'll say that for the launch, but
well,
I'll put the waitlist link. I was
going to say get on the wait list.
Yeah. Okay, Doug. We have a waitlist link, and you'll be notified of like the price and the details and like if it's right for you, and if you suck at everything in life and you can't sell an online course, like should you still start? Like, I get that question all the time. I'm not an expert, but anyways, get on the waitlist and you'll just get more information. You're not like signing up to anything. But 2022 is also very exciting because Doug is really going hard with his brand. So if you watch me, and I know a lot of you guys came from like my vlogs back in the day, Doug's always just been the person that helps me out. He's not been like, definitely, I mean, this year is totally different. Like I probably worked less than you. But now it's going to be different because of a lot of like personal reasons. I mean, you guys can probably imagine, as the mom who's having, I know he's like, what? As the mom, like, okay, let's just be real. I had 3 kids in 5 years and it's a lot, having those kids, the hormone changes and the pregnancies where I get extremely ill. Now that we're homeschooling our kids, for me to be the, what everyone says, breadwinner is like, it's just not it. It's not what we want for our life long term.
It's really not what we like.
Even though Doug sold all the people last year, or
it still wasn't me.
It wasn't you driving the leads.
I wouldn't have had anybody to sell if you weren't there.
I mean, I think you would have figured it out.
Eventually, yeah. Maybe. If we could have left it up to.
But like long term, we're just gonna be real. Like the focus is on Doug's growth. So I know, especially if my students are watching, I like get so worried about that because I think, I'm going to post a podcast. My students are going to think like, I'll just post a podcast to grow. No. And they already know because I like harass them about it. Can't just post a podcast, which is another topic, and expect to grow. So my role this next year is not going to be viral growth like it has been for years. I'm going to help Doug do that. Yep. And mine is just nurturing the audience that I have and just like chilling out.
Nurturing, figuring that out. But then on the back end, what we're going to see the secrets, to the influencer life is like raising the kids.
Yeah.
Like being the mom and like
which I have been, but it's going to be better to be more present mentally.
Yes.
Because it truly, like now with the TikTok and the reels and stuff, it's like you could be a headless chicken easily.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm excited. I still am. I'm pumped. You guys can go check it out.
So we have Doug, as in me. Yeah. Just kidding. No, Doug wants to do it all. Like he's so ready for it. I feel like for years you were not about it, and you already know. Like
not about it.
Because I was good at it, quote unquote, and I seriously am not. But I was the expert out of the two of us, and I did it for so long that why wouldn't I do it? But sometimes it's like, you just have to do things with long-term goals in mind. Yes. Yeah. So he's going to be on TikTok because you got to post. If you're posting on Reels, you got to be on TikTok. Yeah. He already has like a keyboard account. Doug is into like mechanical keyboards. He like builds keyboards.
I did that as like an experiment to try to experiment.
He loves it. He like wants it to take over. Yeah. Anyways, but so he's going to be posting on their YouTube and we're excited. So I think, we won't go into your brand specifics because it just depends on like what we decide. Yeah. But that's going to be, we also got an office. We didn't say that. Yeah. We're actually not in it.
The year of the office.
But we got an office because it's just, we live in, I wouldn't say a small house. Like how big is our house?
It's 1,800 square feet.
No, it's not. It's over 2.
No, it's like 2,100 square feet, but like, I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was more.
I don't think it's
like a 3-bedroom house that we're renting. We love the neighborhood. I love the house. The backyard has a lemon tree and an avocado tree with like hundreds of lemons and avocados, like paradise.
No joke. Like there's 68 avocados.
Yeah, you made that up, but there is like seriously, I think over 100. I don't know, but it's like paradise where we live here, and we live in. For those of you guys who care, we live in Orange County, California, and I think we're gonna stay here because my parents live in Mexico because they retired there, and his parents live in NorCal. And it's just like easier, but we don't know. We might move out of state. Who knows?
Yeah, like everyone else. Depends on the next thing that happens.
But so anyways, moral of the story is our house is small, and we love it. We're going to eventually buy, hopefully next year when our lease ends. Yeah. We'll see how the crazy housing market is. But because of that, it is so hard, obviously, to keep 3 kids quiet while Doug is on a sales call or... Yeah.
Well, the way that the house is structured, like, no, but I don't know if there's too much information about, but all the bedrooms obviously are like on one side and cramped.
Yeah.
Okay, like you can't be too loud or have the kids running around when you're on a sales call trying to sell somebody on like a $25,000 package. Like you can't.
Yeah.
Have it in the back like what I'm
that
trying to draw
has been
price,
a real
like,
thing.
You can't do that. Like,
not that it's $25K.
I'm just saying, but like you like those kind of things can happen. So like you need the office, but the office also allows for like mental reprieve.
Yeah,
like
for honestly, work. You'd think it'd be just for Doug, like the mental reprieve, but for me too. Like I found that when he wasn't around, I don't know about you guys. This is just like funny, like mom chatter right here, but I don't know about you guys, but when your husband's there, you just like ask him for everything, and you do the same thing.
Dude,
you know,
everything.
You're like, Haley, like I can't find my keys. I'm like, just look for them, and he's like, I already tried. You know, so it's like
what
when
did
they're
you
gone.
have me do the other day that was just dumb.
Lots of things.
She had me like put something on a shelf, and I was like, "It's in front of your face."
No, he does it to me too. Like honestly, I can't.
So bad. Yeah.
I can't. But okay, so it's just helpful mentally to separate ourselves because we obviously worked together since 2018, like 24/7, literally. So it's been so nice. And so the ideal situation would be one day we buy a house in SoCal or wherever, who knows, and then hopefully it would magically come with some back house that we could renovate.
Back office.
But it's not going to because it's SoCal and we're not living in like somewhere else. So you just like build it. You build some type of really cool studio, and that was like be the dream because nobody wants to commute. Although the office is like a couple minutes away.
Yeah, it's super close. But the back office would be like obviously the dream setup. But 2022 is definitely going to be about making sure that we're having fun, not just like with our work, but like in our private life. Yeah. You know, so like part of that is separating work more from what we're doing, because before it was very intertwined, always taking calls here, always doing these kind of things. And that's the idea behind the office, is that we could separate the two more than we did in 2021.
Yes. And then the other thing is obviously for those of you guys who do watch me, like I am trying to pursue more of my passions. I haven't had a passion. Doug has so many hobbies. So actually for Doug's brand,
so many hobbies.
He's going to teach hobbyists how to turn their hobby into an income generating thing through courses and coaching and things. So
I'm so pumped about my next reel that's going live.
Okay. He's never said that in his life. Gundams, like a little robot thing. I can't with it. I'm scared. I never know what it's. So anyways, yeah, he's excited because he's a hobbyist. He likes cars. He builds keyboards with like little switches and who knows. And then lots of other things. You like tennis. I mean, there's a new hobby every day. But I have nothing. Okay. Like my hobby would be having a clean house. Yeah. That's nice. That's a nice hobby.
For a while, Haley used to say her hobby was social media. And I was like, great. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, he didn't.
Like, this is so nice.
And anyways, so like my hobby is making income online. But that's, you know, sometimes it's like it sucks the life out of you. Yeah. So I'm trying to like find my own hobby. So this year I am going to post on my YouTube channel for fun because my main one, which I haven't really posted on in a year. And then I'm going to try to get into calligraphy. What? He laughs so I asked for a kit. So we'll see. For like, I don't know, my birthday. But anyways, yeah, so that's probably not going to go anywhere. But I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how that goes. But there's like the calligraphy, there's the homeschool. Like you said, you also wanted to get like into teaching and like figuring out lots of these other things to do with like raising our kids. Like I know that's not exactly a hobby, but when you do that yourself, it starts to become kind of like a hobby.
Yeah, I get addicted. So I think right now we want to talk a little bit about, just because this is an intro podcast, obviously we're kind of off the cuff.
Dude,
clearly.
Like our fourth intro.
Oh, I know. But basically, we want to talk about the biggest lessons we took away from 2021. I know we're like a month late. It's February, but whatever. So I thought we would talk with Doug. So what was like, I don't know, the biggest lesson you learned, or one of the biggest ones?
So one of the biggest lessons that I learned in 2021 was that I had to overcome that fear of like selling, because Haley put me in a hard spot.
Okay, honestly, it just know people out there think I tell you exactly what to do, but he doesn't do the things he doesn't want to do.
I definitely don't. But I really just learned that like it is possible to do the things that you don't think you can do, like as long as you do it consistently and you actually try at it. Yeah. Like it's actually possible. Like I know, as dumb as that sounds, but I never sold a single thing. I never worked in retail. I never worked in fast food. I never worked in the service industry. I never did anything. I've never had to sell anything in my entire life. Yeah. Okay. And I always walked around telling myself I'm not a salesperson. I don't like selling. I don't like doing those kinds of things.
Yeah, sleazy or whatever.
Sleazy car salesman stuff. Here I am. I made all the money for the family in 2021.
Yeah.
So like that was a huge lesson that I learned. So like if there's other things that come up that I have this, like, you know, building this brand. I used to say I'm not the social media person. I'm not the brand person. I can't do
it's
that.
It's amazing. Like,
and now like once you discover you have the power to do it, you can do it.
When you overcome one thing, like a limiting belief, everyone throws the term around, but it's so true. Like you might have like a slew of limiting beliefs. Like I suck at reels, or I suck on camera. I'm awkward. I'm ugly. I mean, whatever. Like I'm not good at sales. No one thinks I'm an expert. But when you overcome just one, you start to think with the second one and the third one, wait a second, I overcame that one thing. So why can't I overcome something else? You know, it just takes that like one thing to overcome, and it's like a trickle effect.
And I guess like the second thing that I learned through this whole process wasn't really learning through me, but it was also learning through our students and seeing what they were doing. And Haley's like, I have no idea where the hell he's going with this. But basically, I learned that to be successful online or to be successful in selling something or building something and doing some type of business, you have to like 110% believe in what you're doing.
Oh my gosh.
Okay?
Yeah. It's
like,
hard.
You cannot waver, because the moment you waver, you fail. Like, absolutely. And whether that's like what you're going to post, or that's what you're going to sell, or that's what your course topic is going to be on, or that's what color shirt you're going to wear that day. Like, if you don't have 100% confidence or 100% believe in what you're doing, you shouldn't do it.
Okay, whoa.
No.
Hold up. You don't, Doug, come on. I mean, I have to a little bit disagree.
Okay, go ahead.
Or just put a filter on you, because I agree with you 100%. But a lot of people are watching and thinking, but I don't have 100% confidence in myself. Should I sell anything?
I don't mean 100% confidence in yourself. I mean 100% believe in whatever it is that you do. And I don't mean like yourself. So like, let's say for instance,
people get that confused, because they're like, oh, it's not time for me to start.
Thank you. I should clarify. Tons of people don't have confidence in themselves. I still don't have a lot of confidence in myself. Okay. But I believe that what we teach can change people's lives.
Yeah.
110%. I believe that. So like,
but sometimes you have to fake a little bit in the beginning.
Yes, but no,
because you have to get someone results first.
What I'm saying is that if you believe that if you believe in like whatever you teach, so like if you're like, oh, I totally believe that like this way of working out is the best way for me to like shape my calf or something,
lose the mom weight or whatever.
Whatever it is, and that's what you firmly believe that because you do that every day. Yeah, then that's what's
totally
going to help
agree.
You.
Yeah.
Yes, but if you're like, oh, I don't know if this will work for people, like it kind of worked for me, but kind of didn't. You're not going to sell that. Like,
because and this is a whole, like I keep saying, this is like another subject, but we have found that, like our mentality now, and this is going to maybe ruffle some feathers, not really, but it's our duty to sell our program. Like It's our absolute duty because it's changed so many people's lives. Like when I go on stories and I talk about like, how if you do this thing, like you can quit your job. Like I actually mean it. Like I'm not just like messing with people, versus like if I was to go on stories and talk about, like I always, talk about, some type of brand deal product, this will change your life. This will cure blah, whatever. Like I don't really mean it because it's not like truly life changing. And you don't always have to teach people how to make money, It could be literally anything, like how to do calligraphy or how to do art or anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
if you have that belief in it and you firmly
you'll make more
money
because you'll sell better.
You'll make more money, you'll sell better, you'll be more confident, and you should follow those passions, which is why I want to help people monetize their passions and their hobbies.
Totally. And so for mine, what I learned, this is so cheesy, but I really learned it this last year, and it honestly gave me a little, like, I was going to say midlife crisis, but I'm not quite midlife yet. Turning 30 though in a couple days. Scary thing. Anyways, but yeah, this is like a big one and it's very cheesy, but the thing that I learned through experiencing last year is you can truly do anything. I mean, there's going to be some things that are harder that you can want to do. Like if you want to be president and you're like, 50 and you've never done anything, it's going to be a little bit challenging, but you never know. But you can honestly do anything like in relation to online business or making it for yourself and your family. Like you can make it happen 1,000,000%. It doesn't have to be super hard. But I think the real thing I learned was like, well, how do you want it to happen? Yeah. And you're never going to find out like you're not going to find out like the winning business idea most likely on the first shot, but you will eventually find it out if you continue to try things, fail, get up fast, try it again. Because everything is just so possible, especially nowadays.
Yeah. And it's just like, you only fail when you stop.
You just have to, now we're just doing all these quotes, but the next thing I was going to say is like, you got to get out of your own way.
We're gonna like,
should be on the wall.
Put it on the blank wall back
But it's
here,
true. It's like, you have to get out of your own way, So like, you have all these limiting beliefs, but you have to ask yourself, like, are these beliefs or are they realities? 99% of the time, they're not.
You know how many times I wanted to just like bang my head against the wall because I heard that phrase, like, Doug, is this a belief?
Because, okay.
Or is this reality? And I'm just like, no.
No, you're like, it's a belief. But seriously, like, that's how we make all our decisions. And I think we had a podcast on it, like, last year. But it's true. Like, whenever we would come across, like, a problem, because we started, not to go down another rabbit hole, which we won't, but we ran a lot of Facebook ads this last year. Right now we have none, and maybe we'll save that for another one. But we ran a lot of Facebook ads and took a lot of risks and spent a lot of money every month on ads. And we did profit from them. But especially when you're jumping off a cliff and you don't know if you're pouring money down like the toilet, you have to ask yourself constantly, like, are we making this decision because it's like a belief or is this like reality? So I don't know. That's a side note. But yeah, so you can do anything you want. You just have to, you have to ask yourself, like, what do you actually want to do with your life? And
Absolutely.
like, is it worth it? It is worth it.
We also have a free mini course.
Yes.
So we have a free mini course that's in there. There's almost 1,000 people that have gone through this mini course and they love it. Everyone absolutely raves about it. Not to, blow ourselves up too much, but it's really cool and it's totally free. So, check those things out. We'll have that in the description below. Anything else? Closing words, Haley?
No, that's it. But thank you guys so much for watching or listening. Leave us a review if you're excited and if you got some value from it.
Yes, absolutely.
And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.